Let's continue our discussion of the Milesians. This is, of course, still part of the first three videos about the Ionian philosophers Thales, Anaximander, and Anaximenes. In the Physics 187a, number 11, Aristotle divides the natural philosophers into two schools. Those who hold that there is an underlying body from which other things are generated by thickening and thinning, and those who separate out the opposites from a mixture. Anaximander belongs to the latter school, Anaximenes to the former, and the contrast between the two is worth considering. Let's begin with Anaximander. The principles by which Anaximander interprets the universe are closely linked to that psychology of the tragic passions by which Aeschylus interprets human life. The order of nature is essentially a dramatic order. The agonists are the warring opposites, alternately triumphing in the cycles of days and seasons, a cycle of hubris and nemesis, of excess and retribution, separated off from the unbounded and grown wanton. The opposites pay penalty to each other and lapse once more into their source according to the assessment of time. Seasons return, and in their return, we find evidence for a type of causality which is, in a peculiar sense, moral. Balance or harmonia is a principle of nature, and the equilibrium of the world process is its product. Because harmonia is a basic principle of explanation, and because harmony is the harmony of opposites, the opposites themselves are in this scheme irreducible. They are separated off from their primitive togetherness, not generated by a combination of prior causes. Implicitly, understanding of the universe for Anaximander is qualitative and moral. The seeds of the teleological pattern of explanation, which was so bulk, so large in Plato and Aristotle, are interestingly already in its seminal manifestations in Anaximander's thought. With Anaximenes, it is different. The universe is not to be explained by the dramatic tension of qualities and their balance. Those qualities are themselves generated by the thickening and thinning of a matter which is qualitatively homogeneous. In that sense, then, quantity is prior to quality. Causality, therefore, is implicitly mechanical and not moral. Though Anaximenes' heir is alive, and its life the source of natural motion, there is no hint in these of teleology at all. The development of speculation in the Ionian tradition will progressively drain the mythical elements from Anaximenes' worldview. The primitive life of the world source will be abandoned, leaving only its physical residue, a spontaneous and uninitiated swirl of atoms postulated as the origin of motion and the change in the world. But Anaximenes' fundamental conception will be kept. The notion that the world consists in matter and its arrangement, that the ultimate explanation of it must be quantitative and mechanical. Anaximenes stands in a direct line with Democritus, where this ultimate reduction will eventually be made. And Democritus is perhaps the one Greek who foreshadowed most clearly the scientific worldview which has dominated thought from the time of Newton to the present. In this dawn of philosophy, the outlines of figures like Thales, Anaximander, and Anaximenes are dim. We shall never know as much as we should like to know of them. But in the distance, their figures seem very much of a size. All men of extraordinary genius, each of whom made a unique contribution to thought. A division in Greek and modern philosophy, the division between mechanists and teleologists, is already to be found in embryonic form in their thought. That division arose within a common context of ideas provided by Thales. The world is a natural whole with unchanging ways of its own, and it issues from a primitive and unitary source. The result of this claim was revolution, the passage from myth to philosophy. That revolution, Thales's pupils carried forward, each in their own ways. The magnitude of their achievement can only be measured by its fruit. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel Samo't Simula. This is from Greek philosophy, Thales to Aristotle, edited by Reginald Allen. Thank you very much.